Aniplex has acquired Egg Firm, a production company behind the animes like Mushoku Tensei and Danmachi. Now, normally, I wouldn't think too much about this, right? And I'm sure most of you wouldn't think too much about this. Whatever. This is just another big company getting a new subsidiary company, buying this production company, get a new subsidiary, whatever. You wouldn't think much of it, right? I was the same way. I'm like, whatever. Who cares? Until you figure out who actually now controls Egg Firm. So who is Egg Firm? Well, we need to look at that. So as they say, Egg Firm made anime like Mushoku Tensei and Danmachi. Well, there's more. So they did the 2015, 2023 of Danmachi. They did Shinometa, which is getting more and more fucking accurate every goddamn day. The Disastrous Life of Saki K. Oh boy. They did Sword Oratoria. They did this is the big one. So they do still Gun Gale Online, Sword Art Online, alternate Gun Gale Online. They do Alicization. They have also done Ordinal Scale and both the progressive movies. So Egg Firm is currently the people who make the Sword Art anime. Yeah. So now Aniplex owns that. Now, Aniplex is always in front of that anyway, but now they fully own Egg Firm. So now Aniplex owns Danmachi, Shinometa, Disastrous Life of Saki K, Sword Art Online, Mushoku Tensei. They own it all. They own all this. Excel World, probably. Yeah, they probably also own the animes to Excel World as well. Like, they own this all. Like, just look at all the anime that now is theirs, and it's pretty scary, especially when it's three heavy hitters like Danmachi, Sword Art, and Mushoku Tensei. So they own it all. They have it all. All of it is now Aniplex. Now, normally you probably wouldn't think much of that until you realize who owns Aniplex. Aniplex is a company which is wholly owned and is a subsidiary of Sony. Yep. The same Sony which bought Funimation, then Crunchyroll, then Right Stuff, now owns a big stake in Kadokawa. So as you can see, Sony is building quite a monopoly in the anime manga business. And that's a no bueno. That's a real no bueno. Monopolies as a whole are never a good thing. They are never a good thing. You never want a monopoly because that means one big mega corporation owns everything, and that's never good. That is never a good thing. You never want that. You never want one company to be at the tippy top without any competition. You never want that. Monopolies are a bad thing. That's why people are so against Netflix buying Warner Brothers, because they see that would have Netflix would then sort of have a monopoly in the streaming game over places like Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, all those places. Netflix would now have a bigger monopoly because they would absorb Warner Brothers and all that encompasses, including HBO Max, the streaming service, would be into Netflix now. So, you never want a monopoly. You never want a monopoly in anything. Good examples of that is, for my wrestling fans out there, WWE. When WWE bought WCW and effectively ended the Monday Night Wars, there was no competition for them. They were the monopoly. They were the guys of wrestling in North America. So they just stopped trying. And their product got worse and worse and worse until it was just unwatchable. It was unwatchable stuff because there was no one who could challenge them. Ring of Honor wasn't big enough. TNA wasn't big enough. PWG was just a super indie at that point. And, well, at that point, it is a super indie. So no one could really challenge them. They had no direct competition. So they felt like they could do whatever we want, and these people would just eat it up anyway. That's essentially how they felt. Their biggest competition wasn't until like the early 2010s when New Japan really started to make its way to international markets. Then they started to have a bit of a competition, but again, it was with a company not in America. It was in another country. It was in Japan. So even then, it wasn't even really a big fight for them, because even then, still WWE was still bigger than them, right? I mean, to this day, WWE is the #1 wrestling company in the world, right? That has not changed, and to this day, there still isn't really right now as we speak. No company can challenge them. No company can challenge them. New Japan is, as much as I love New Japan, they've fallen down. They really have. There was a hope for challenge when 2019 when AEW was formed, but AEW has since gone fucking garbage. So they're nowhere near beating WWE. Okay, they're nowhere near beating WWE anymore, and WWE itself is not as big as it used to be. Like, you see them promoted all the time on Netflix because of their deal and all that, right? But like, if you look at like their figures, like their numbers that they sell, they constantly tout that like, oh, we're making record profits, and then we still release like 15 people in batches every couple months. So very clearly something isn't going around going right there. So, you know, WWE isn't doing well itself, but even then, it is still the monopoly. It holds that monopoly. I mean, look at what they're doing now. They now own AAA. AAA is theirs now. They own AAA, one of the biggest Mexican wrestling promotions. WWE now owns AAA. They are in close partnership with TNA, who it's only a matter of time before they just try to buy TNA, a company that used to try and see itself as their top rival, and for a while was the biggest competition they had in North American wrestling. And now it looks like they're just going to buy TNA soon. Like, it's only a matter of time. We all know it's a matter of time before WWE just buys TNA. So, monopolies, never a good thing. And monopolies aren't just, that's just one example. But you take a look at another monopoly, right? Take a look at Disney. And you're like, what do you mean? Disney doesn't have a monopoly. Well, let's take a look at what companies Disney owns. They own Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, 21st Century Fox, and Searchlight Pictures. Those are their studios are Walt Disney Pictures, Walt Disney Animation, Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Animation, Searchlight. Their television is ABC, all the Disney channels, FX, Freeform, National Geographic. They own ESPN and Hotstar. Look at all their parks, the Disneyland parks. They have a music group, Disney Publishing Worldwide, Marvel Entertainment for their comic books. This is all Disney. Disney owns all this. Then there's their streaming, which is Hulu they own, ESPN Plus, Hotstar they own, Disney Plus. They own all this. All this is them. They own all this. Another big monopoly is Valnet. So Valnet, if you don't know, as you can see here, is a media company, a Canadian media company established in August 2012 in Montreal. What does Valnet own? Well, Valnet owns several internet media publications, including The Gamer, Collider, CBR, MovieWeb, Screen Rant, Game Rant, XDA Developers, Give Me Sport, Make Use of, How to Geek, and Military.com. Owns all that. All that is theirs. And just to add, they now own Polygon. They now also own Polygon because as of May last year, Polygon was sold to them. So now they add Polygon to that. So as you can see, they hold quite a monopoly. Quite a monopoly in the internet nerd site spheres. This is why monopolies are never a good thing, because they will use all their sites they own to peddle whatever fucking agenda they want. And I don't mean just agenda in a political or a social agenda. I mean just agenda of, we want this thing to be a success, so now all of our sites will say how good it is. Or we want the public to see this as a bad thing, so they will now We will now have all our sites condemn this, right? They will do that constantly because to the uninformed person, they'll see sites like The Gamer, Collider, CBR say that something's bad. They're like, whoa, if multiple places are saying it, then it must be bad. Unaware of the fact, they're all the same fucking thing. It's the same company, different coat of paint. They're all puppets. Same thing goes for Disney. When Disney wants to push their fucking agendas, they'll put it on ABC, right? It'll go into Pixar movies, it'll go into Marvel shows, it'll go into a bunch of Disney shows. They'll put it everywhere. And then the uninformed public will go, oh, well, if it's there, that must mean it's, it's actual topic we need to talk. No. It's just some fucking some fucking old fucking boardroom decided this is the thing we're gonna do now. And now all of our subsidiaries are going to just talk about it and push it. This is why monopolies are never a good thing. And Sony is getting a monopoly of its own in the anime sphere. Like I said, they now own Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is their big anime streaming service. And Crunchyroll, whether you like them or not, you have to admit, they are the biggest legal, I stress that, the biggest legal anime streaming service. They are the biggest one. And some people be like, well, there's High Dive. Guys, it's a matter of time before High Dive gets bought. I did a video talking about how Crunchyroll and High Dive are entering in this big partnership thing. Guys, it's a matter of time before High Dive joins the fucking Crunchyroll family. It's a matter of time. Because look, they took Funimation, also one of the biggest anime streaming services. They bought it, folded it into Crunchyroll. They bought Right Stuff, one of the biggest merch stores for anime and manga. Bought it, it's all in Crunchyroll now. They own Aniplex, right? They own Aniplex. Aniplex, which, look at all the subsidiaries of Aniplex. A1 Pictures. They own A1 fucking Pictures. Do you know how much stuff A1 Pictures has made? Look at all this shit. Black Butler, Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail. Look at the Blue Exorcist, Idolmaster, the original Sword Art show. Look at this shit, man. Aldnoah Zero, the Persona 4 Golden Anime, 7 Deadly Sins, Your Lie in April, Gate, Astric War, the Ace Attorney anime. Look at all this. They own it. The Grand Blue Fantasy anime, Fate / Apocrypha. I'm saying that properly. Record of Grand Crest War? No way. Darling in the Franxx. Kaguya-sama Love is War. 86. Licorice Recoil, Engage Kiss, the Nier Automata anime. Solo Leveling. Guys. Right? And then there's all these films. The Persona 3 movies. All theirs. All your fairy tales. All of it. Fucking A1 does them. Alright? Look at what else they got. Cloverworks. They own Cloverworks. Let's go look at Cloverworks. You want to go see what Cloverworks has done? Just in TV. Darling in the Franxx. Persona 5, the anime. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Promise Neverland. Horimiya. My Dress Up Darling. Spy X Family. Bocchi the Rock. Windbreaker. Look at this. They own all of this, dude. Let's take a look at what else. There's Crunchyroll. They now own Egg Firm. They own Hayate Inc. Let's go see what Hayate's done. You guys ready? You guys ready to go see what they've done? TV series. Only okay, so this is a newer one. They've only done these two. So that's not that bad. Okay, Hayate, you're good. Live 2D. Like, they own all that. And that is all Sony, too. This isn't Aniplex. This is Sony. This is all Sony. So yeah, Sony's getting themselves a bit of monopoly here. So before we end off, let's take a look at a statement made by Egg Firm about their recent acquisition. So we are pleased to announce that Egg Firm Co. Ltd. has become a wholly owned subsidiary of Aniplex. There will be no changes to the content of our business operations from what they have been previously. Though the collaboration between the two companies, through the collaboration between the two companies, we will make the most of the group's management resources and contribute to the further development of the animation industry. This is fucking PR speak if I've ever seen it. Right? This is done just to ease the worries of the fans, of the shareholders, the stockholders. This is to ease your concern. Be like, oh, guys, we may be owned by someone else, but nothing's changing. And you know what? Nothing will change for about the first year, right? The CEO, like, and you may see, like, oh, the CEO is not going to change, and all these other corporate bigwigs in power, they're not going to change. They themselves, the person, will not change, but their fucking, what they start making, that's gonna fucking change. Their fucking new agenda, that will change. Their values are gonna change instantly. Their values will now change to what Aniplex wants. So yeah, there will be no change. This is all done just to try and ease concerns from people, but in actuality, we know that that's not true at all. In fact, and like I said, maybe nothing will change for like the first year because they're still pushing out the stuff that they were working on before. But after that first year, then the new shit starts to come in. And the new changes start to come in. So there we go. That's how we're going to end this. Aniplex now has another subsidiary. Sony gains another foothold in the anime industry, getting more and more of a monopoly. Will anything be done about it? I don't think so, because that would require people to actually acknowledge anime and the monopoly in the industry, and there's no fucking way mainstream media or any fucking like judge or anything would ever care about that. The only one that would be a Japanese judge, right? It would have to be in Japan. It would have to be Japan that would do this. And we have a shot because, Sony is owned by Sony of Japan, so we would have a shot there. But at the end of the day, Sony is Sony. It doesn't matter what country. So there we go, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about all this, and I'll see you all next time.